you have friends who own businesses just like yourself.
Yep.
And when you meet and when you talk about the business, the challenges are the same?
The challenges are the same. A number of them actually closed shop.
Okay, looking at the challenges, what you've been going through, you've been in business for 6 years. Do you feel it's worth it to still stay in the business, or are you better off? Remember your house.
We are actually looking at options at the moment.
What kind of options?
It had to close down. Or go to either Europe or the Arab world and look for a partner.
Look for investors, co-investors.
Yes, look for a co-investor.
So what, you have no faith in this? Because like I mentioned, I did mention earlier, all the other intervention funds. You feel like people like yourself who own, to have access to these funds.
Have access to the funds.
So you're left with no other option. Is that what you're saying?
We are left with no other option than
for financing.
Absolutely. Our idea initially was start a business with this model of using a spare capacity of an industry, of a company. Grow the demand, create wealth, and then show investors that this is what we have done in the last 5 years. We have been able to create a demand, we have been able to build a brand, and then with this brand that we have built, bring your money, let us build a factory. Then it is then easier for you to now approach investors and get investors' confidence, get them to put that money and build a factory. But when you have not made money in the last 5-6 years,
no, does that also mean that, because you talked about demand right now, sometimes people say, your services or your products speaks for you, or, helps you in terms of turnover every year or every quarter. So do you think perhaps there might be a problem with the demand side of it? Perhaps if there was enough or adequate demand for your products, that might help you. Yeah,
initially we had demand, but because of the business model that relied on the third-party supply, and then the supplier then disappointed, so you lost demand. Then getting back that demand is quite challenging. That is number one. Number two, because you don't have faith in your third-party supplier, you look for an alternative. And unfortunately for Tafsan, which is now unique to us, unfortunately for Tafsan Beverages, we could not get another supplier within the southwest region. We had to go to the east. You can now imagine the logistics of moving our product all the way from the east to Lagos, because our main market is in Lagos, it's in the southwest. So the logistics cost alone eroded the margin of the business.
So what about mergers? Because some analysts also say that, because of the kind of environment, perhaps companies in your line of business,
Absolutely.
perhaps if you just have like mergers or some kind of arrangement where, you can pull resources together.
Unfortunately, we don't have SME in this industry, in this beverage industry, that we can except we want to be absorbed. And we can be absorbed actually if we get somebody who is willing, if we get a company who is willing to do that.
Have you made plans towards, if I beg your pardon, if that's actually an option you would be willing to consider? Yeah. Is that something you would actually do?
It's one of the options we are looking at. Approaching one or two of the multinationals and see if they can absorb us.
Now, do you believe in your product? You believe in your business plan?
Yes.
You believe in the company?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So
I told you in the first 2-3 years of launch of the brand, we actually tripled our demand, our volume. That was what we did. And unfortunately, our partner disappointed, and the partner now has closed down.
But do you still have faith in the system? Obviously, you say you're still considering options. You haven't closed shop, which is good, and jobs haven't been lost. But do you still have faith in the system? Yes, you have been able to get access to funds provided by the government or the CBN. Do you still have faith in the system as regards?
We must always keep it alive. We must always keep hope alive. Yes, we still have faith in the business. We still believe that things will change in this country. It may take some time, but we think things will change. So we still have faith in the system. And that is why we are saying, okay, let us look offshore. If we look offshore and we are able to attract foreign partners who are willing to bring in money to invest in Nigeria, good. Okay,
how do you feel when people, economists roll out statistics? We have over, like what I mentioned previously, we have over 17 micro, small and medium enterprises employing over 31 million people. SME sector is the backbone of the economy.
Do you know of anyone that is making money?
Growth. We have all this very robust, and the point is, like I mentioned to you, they're still in business. Yes, they're struggling, but they remain in business year in, year out.
We have also remained in business year in, year out for 6 years. We'll probably remain in business for the next 5-6 years. You see?
I also know that many of them, obviously, the issue of resilience, many of them have remained resilient. I was looking at
remain resilient.
I was looking at some, because really not some of the earnings from some of the companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. That was the Okomo, was the other. But you are saying that they're not SMEs. They're big companies. So let's break it down. What qualifies? When you say a company is an SME,
good.
What qualifies?
You are looking at a company whose capital is about 500 million. 500
maximum.
500 million, employees of between 50 and 100.
What about, like I mentioned, assets?
No, you don't even need to put your money in asset, in building, for instance. You put your money in your core business. Then you have source, you rent. Or you get a property that you rent. So you pay rent. Why do you want to put all your money in a building, for instance?